Stop optimizing your GPT-4o prompts. It doesn't matter. For months, we've been told GPT-4o is the gold standard for developers. But after building a full-stack SaaS app from scratch with both models, the truth is clear. The logic gap in Claude 3.5 makes GPT-4o look like a toy. I'm not talking about writing a simple Python script. I'm talking about complex state management, seamless API integration, and pixel-perfect UI precision. I've spent the last few weeks stress testing these models in production environments, integrating Cursor AI with the Anthropic API to find exactly where the hallucinations start. In this video, we're doing a head-to-head battle. One prompt, one full-stack requirement, zero hand-holding. I'll show you exactly where GPT-4o fails and how Claude 3.5 Sonnet's artifacts change the entire development workflow. By the end of this, you'll know which AI is actually capable of shipping a product and which one is just a fancy chatbot. Let's be honest. You've spent the last few months perfecting your system prompts. You're adding think step by step and act as a principal engineer to every single request. But here is the hard truth. You aren't prompt engineering. You're babysitting. We've all hit the wall. You ask GPT-4o to implement a complex feature, maybe a multi-tenant auth flow or a nested API integration. The first response looks flawless. Then you actually run the code. Crash, hallucinated dependencies, logic gaps. So you paste the error back in. It apologizes. It fixes the bug. But in the process, it breaks 3 other functions that were working perfectly. This is the AI loop of death. You spend more time debugging the AI's corrections than you would have spent writing the boilerplate from scratch. For a while, we just accepted this. We thought GPT-4o was the ceiling of what LLMs could do for software engineering. We told ourselves that good enough was the standard. But when you're building a production-ready SaaS, mostly right is a liability. Almost there is technical debt you'll be paying off for months. If you're still fighting your LLM to maintain state across multiple files or struggling with basic architectural logic, you aren't failing at prompting. You're using a tool that has plateaued. The problem isn't your prompting. It's the engine. For months, we've been told GPT-4o is the gold standard. But for actual software engineering, it's plateaued. Enter Claude 3.5 Sonnet. This isn't just a marginal update. It's a fundamental shift in how AI handles complex logic and state management. To prove it, I didn't just ask them to write a function. I challenged both to build a full-stack SaaS from scratch, a real-time AI task orchestrator with a Next.js frontend, a Postgres database, and complex authentication logic. I used the exact same prompt for both. No hand-holding. No act as an expert fluff. Just the requirements. Let's start with GPT-4o. At first, it looks great. The boilerplate is clean. But as the app grows, the AI laziness kicks in. It starts omitting critical sections. It forgets the state variables it defined 3 prompts ago. You spend more time debugging the AI's shortcuts than actually building. Now look at Claude 3.5 Sonnet. This is the game changer, artifacts. Instead of a wall of text, Claude creates a dedicated workspace. It doesn't just give me snippets, it builds the entire file structure in real time. The logic is tight. When I asked it to implement a complex recursive function for task dependencies, Claude didn't just write the code, it anticipated the edge cases. GPT-4o hallucinated the API endpoint. Claude mapped the entire data flow perfectly. But the real power unlock happens when you move out of the browser. I plugged Claude 3.5 into Cursor AI. For the developers watching, This is the current God mode stack. Because Claude understands the context of the entire folder, not just the open file, the refactoring is instantaneous. I pushed the final build to Verso. Total time to MVP, 40% faster than my GPT-4o attempt. The gap isn't small. It's a canyon. GPT-4o is a great chatbot. Claude 3.5 Sonnet is a legitimate pair programmer. So the results. GPT-4o nailed the UI, but the logic crumbled the moment we hit complex state management. Claude 3.5 Sonnet didn't just write code, it architected the app. Zero hallucinations on the API routes. Total precision. Now, to get this level of speed, I didn't use a browser. I used Cursor AI. It integrates Claude 3.5 directly into your IDE. It is a literal cheat code for software engineers. Check the link in the description to try Cursor and get your Anthropic API keys set up. Once the logic was locked, I pushed it to Verso for instant deployment. All the tools I used are linked below. If you're tired of prompt engineering and just want code that actually works, hit subscribe. We're rebuilding the dev stack with AI. Don't get left behind.